Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of
MomChitChat.
I hope you enjoyed yourself last time.
Yeah, I really did. It was
So much fun.
And I did learn a lot of things from you guys.
I have so much to offer. You're welcome.
Same here.
Okay, well, so guys, if you did catch our last episode, be sure to follow us on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook at MomChitChat TV so you don't miss out on all the juicy things we'll be sharing right here on this show. My name is Jane Ogoye and I'm the founder of Fab Mom NG. I'm not alone. I have
Nicole Chikwe. I'm the founder of TK Wellness.
And my name is Mudukwe Enila, founder of High Mom Zone.
So ladies, let's roll. So today, let's talk about a very interesting topic. Do you think it's important for children to actually learn to speak their local dialects? What do you think, Nicole?
I think it's very important.
Okay.
I think that it's one way of preserving culture. I think that, in a lot of societies outside of Nigeria, you find that it's very important for them to pass on that language, irrespective of what the mainstay international language might be. And I just think it's very, very important that we do that to continue to pass on that cultural aspect, which is very important for our children.
Can your children speak your language?
Well, not really. They understand my language, but they can't speak. Like last week, I was singing with my little one and he asked me, "Mommy, why are you sounding so Yoruba-ish?" And I was like, how? How? It's just nursery rhymes, little man. And I was like, yes, but you still sound, there's this thing about the way you talk.
How old is he?
Wow.
He's just 5. Just 5.
Okay, well, for me, it's a bit dicey because mine is an intertribal marriage.
Right.
From Ibibio. I'm Ibibio, while my husband is Urobo. So I find that sometimes we are torn between teaching my children my husband's language and my own language. Of course, they speak English. But the problem now is my husband is like, you need to choose one because if you don't teach them your language, I'll begin to teach them my own. And I'm like, why should my children speak your language? And he was like, are we not together in this? So sometimes I'm like, do I teach them my own language? But I know you're married to someone from your husband is from your own.
Yes, he is. We're both Owerri. Yeah, so we're not even just both Igbo, we're both from the exact same place
community.
almost. So
wow.
Yeah, it should be easier. The thing is, I haven't really done a good job with that. I think it's very important, especially now, that we start to speak our language at home as well.
Yes.
It's really confusing because, sometimes they tell you, you don't want to confuse the child with all these languages, but research and studies have shown now that it's even easier for children to pick up languages when they're that small and their brains are still very malleable. So this would be the ideal time. So I'm challenging myself.
Yes.
I'm challenging NATO. We are going to speak Igbo to our kids.
Yes, we should actually.
And as a matter of fact, languages has been shown to really help kids' cognitive skills. It's actually cognitive skills. So I think it's really important that we speak to them. We don't want our language or to stop.
Die.
Yes,
Right.
just die.
Yeah,
like that. So it's important. We're speaking Yoruba henceforth.
Well, for me, I think I have to, be a little bit more intentional about this. But I'm also happy that my children do not have any English names.
Okay.
Mine do.
Yes.
They do.
And I feel so that they can have some form of identity because growing up, I know I was shy to, bear my native name. But growing up right now, I wish I actually bore it, like even have it on my certificates.
Right.
Because I feel with the way the world is going, the whole social media era, it's also very important that we don't lose our identity. Because this is something that happens most times unconsciously. So we don't want to pass that down to our children.
Yes.
So Nicole, what do you think are some of the ways we can actually get our children speaking our languages? How can we do this? How do you intend to do it actually?
Well, the thing is, again, I have to think back to myself. Do I speak the language at home? And I do not. It's so, I am not proud of it at all. But at least I recognize that there is an issue there and I can do better. I mean, on social media recently, we saw, I don't know if you guys saw that tweet as well, that this man had put out about not speaking his language to his children.
Yes, I saw it.
Yes, about how he's
saw
more
it.
interested in teaching, having his children learn like French and
Yes.
Mandarin
Oh,
and
yes,
other
yes.
languages as opposed to
Their
Igbo,
own
because
native
that's like
language.
the dying language and who is it helping? So look, at least I own that I'm not doing right.
Okay.
And I'm going to do better.
Okay.
I think that that's a dangerous philosophy to have because Mandarin and French and the other languages that he mentioned, you know, the French people, that's their own language.
And they're so proud of it.
Yes, they are very, very.
You know, especially the French that he's talking about. If you go to Paris, it's difficult. They're not even trying to help you.
They don't even want to
Really?
know.
They won't
have
even
to
speak
it.
English.
You have
to you.
to speak, at least attempt it. Even if they speak English, at least attempt to even speak small French to me. If you are tried, then they'll now reply you in English, like, okay, yes. But if you're just there like, oh, hey, you know, do you speak? I only speak English. We'll be looking at you. Zero.
Well,
nothing.
for me, myself and my husband speak our language to each other, but not to the kids.
Yeah.
So I think I'll just try as much as possible to speak more.
Right.
The kids, they understand, but they
That's
can't
good.
speak. So I think
Just
that
to
aspect
build
I
that
have to work on it.
build that
Yes.
culture at home,
I
but
think
it's
for me,
important,
I think
yes.
for me, I'll begin to choose. Will I say choose my battle? Choose my hustle. So I want to teach them Urobo. I want to teach them Ibibio. But I think I should teach them my language.
language.
But you know, it's
first.
really not bad for them to understand both.
But
and
you
can
know,
speak both.
children pick up the languages
mom.
from people whom they actually spend more time.
Yeah, true.
It's interesting. Like
True.
my mom's from Anambra.
Oh.
So if I was to speak Igbo more, I'd probably speak Anambra Igbo a bit better than Owerri because my dad is always, so it's just really confusing.
Okay. So ladies, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, ladies. So still talking about foreign languages and our local dialects. What do you think about our educational system? Do you think the way it is structured or the way it's being run is enough, that they're actually doing enough to prepare our children for the world they'll be facing? What are your thoughts, Nicole?
That's a deep question. I would say yes and no.
Okay.
So I would say yes, and I enjoy the Nigerian educational system because there's a lot of emphasis on hard work. So it's a lot of repetition and hard work, and it really forces you to build your memory. You have to learn things. You have to learn things a certain way, which I like. One of my friends referred to having children in the Nigerian educational system as a way of building their educational stamina because it forces you to be able to soak in amounts of knowledge at a time, which I really enjoy.
Okay.
However, the drawback to that is that in Nigerian educational system, which I went through, the focus is more on the what. There isn't enough focus on the why. So
Okay.
if you ask me a question, I can give you the answer. Like if you ask me, you know, what is water, I can be like, oh yeah, water is, you know, H2O.
Yeah.
And if you ask me why,
Why green in water?
Okay.
I don't know. I just know what I've been taught and what I've been made to learn. I think there's a lot of emphasis on cramming and not actual analytical thinking. It's more of this is what it is, don't argue with me.
Okay.
So I think, yes, it's good because, again, your educational stamina and your capacity to learn is tested. But no, like, are we really teaching our kids how to form opinions?
You hold that thought, I'll come back to you. Dupe, what do you think?
Okay, so what I think is the narrative is changing.
Okay.
The school system, the educational system is really, really changing. It's not what it used to be.
Right.
Okay.
So these days they allow the kids express themselves more.
Okay.
So my son, for example, is at the Y stage. Every toddler has that Y stage. So it's really important that when they are here, you also know what the teacher is saying to them.
So the moms have a role, the
Yes,
parents.
the moms also have a role in, it's not just about, you don't leave everything to the teachers.
I see.
You should also make sure that you are in on it. You know, at each step, at each stage, you are with your child and you're up in your game as well.
Okay. So for me, I feel that for the under 6 in Nigeria, they are being over-schooled. I feel that you see children of, this is my opinion actually, you see children of 4, 3 years being given so much homework. There's little or no emphasis on play. You know, for that age group, children actually learn more, you know, through play.
Yes.
And you know, so many schools now don't even have playgrounds. You know, so I want to ask you, why did you choose the school your children currently attend?
Okay, so I chose the school that my kids attend now because, one, it came highly recommended. I did a lot of research. I wanted to make sure that I actually knew people whose kids were in the school so they could give me honest and open feedback as to how the school has affected their children. So that was one. And then I also liked that it was a mix of the Nigerian educational system, and I think it's like a British system as well.
Yes.
So it was, again, that Nigerian roots were very important to me. I really wanted that, but I wanted the flexibility, like you had mentioned, for them to be able to ask questions. So I like that. And for me, the third and one of the more important things is that it's a very Christian school. So they're very big on like their Christian values, which is very important to myself and my family.
I agree with you. For me as well, it has to be a Christian background. That's really important for me.
Your faith.
Yes, my faith is really, really important. And also the environment. Is it friendly enough? Is it I don't want an hostile environment where I used to be a shy kid. And I don't want to pass that down to my son. I want him to be very expressive. So I want a school where my son will be able to express his concerns and be able to talk. So that was, and also the playground was that important. Learning through play is really important to me.
So for me and my husband, it was proximity to the house, affordability, the standard, the teacher to child ratio. What else? Basically, those were of course, the standard of learning there were also very, very important for us. So which would you prefer? Would you love to send your children off to, let's say, overseas for university? Or which do you think is better, secondary school, overseas? Or at what stage? Or you would rather train them here?
So I would definitely want them to go to university abroad. I want them to be able to leave Nigeria and see something else, experience something else. You know, that life experience is very important. It shapes you, and it just helps you think differently. So I really want that for my children, but I would want to keep them with me for as long as I can. I want them it's so quick, and you don't get those years back. I'm not in a rush to send them off to England or America from age 10. Like I would want them to be not just for me, but for them, and for them to be really rooted in Nigeria and know who they are before you send them off, because the Western world is fantastic, but it can be so confusing. And I think it's important to have a strong sense of who you are before I just let you.
So university at least.
University.
I'm happy with university.
I agree with our university as well, because I would love for them to also experience other cultures and see other characters, meet other people, experiences, be exposed to other people. That is also very important.
I think I agree with you ladies. I feel once a child comes of age, when he or she is ripe for university, then if you can afford it and if you are open to a lot of options, then you can explore that. But it's very important that the child also has some sense of identity, confidence, and really grounded in the roots, in the culture, in the virtues. Because when they go out there, they're exposed to so many things. You see so many crazy things, and why are our children growing up so fast?
I don't know. It's really
it's so scary.
Really scary. But one thing I would say about Nigerian universities as well, if you cannot get your kids abroad, then there are a lot of good universities. The educational system is slowly.
I went to one. You did. Sure, you did as well.
Okay, so so ladies, United take on this is what now?
Yes to university,
but abroad, if you can.
For now.
Okay, so ladies, what did we agree on this now? Do I send the child abroad, for university, secondary school, or would rather they stay here?
Well, for me, secondary school, no. You have to stay here with me. I want you here with me. But uni, yes, of course. Why not?
Yes.
You can try uni.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies, let's get into some questions our readers sent in. Don't forget that you can always slide into our DM at MomChitChat TV. If you have any questions, any suggestions, or if you have anything very interesting, please send us a DM. So the first question here is, my parents spanked me a lot while growing up, and I vowed to never do that to my kids because I feel it does more harm than good. What do you think is the best way to discipline kids nowadays without any form of psychological damage?
Being an authoritarian is not the good way to go, because kids these days are very, very open and very outspoken. So I think the best thing is to talk to them. Yes, talking to them, and not talk down to them. Don't ridicule them or try to compare them with their siblings. So it's important that you call your child, talk to your child. Oh, you're such a brave child, but then so things you did. Just try to talk to your child.
So no spanking, we talk.
We do more talking, less
I was going to say,
spanking.
because some kids just, it's spanking that they understand. Like, some
Yes,
kids
but then you don't. There's some kids after a while that spanking.
They get used to it.
They get used to it, and it won't even mean anything to them. It's just spanking. Come on, there's the butt. Do it.
I agree. I think that with me growing up as well, the things that I remember when I did something really wrong, where I felt the worst was when my parents would just talk to me.
Really?
Like when my dad would sit me down and be like, Nicole, I am so disappointed that you did this thing. That would break me more than if my mom slapped me, beat me. Like those, that talking can be so impactful, especially when you're able to convey that you are upset. Not that you're even like angry, but you're disappointed and they can do better. For me, those are the things I really, really remember, and I would hold on to those. So I'm very big on, talking to a child, and like you said, not talking down to them, but trying to really pass on that message that it's important that you
not talking
are doing something
touching
wrong.
their self-esteem.
Exactly.
Okay, so we do a little bit of spanking when necessary.
Yeah, I'm open to spanking though.
And some more talking when necessary as well. Okay,
exactly.
so question 2. I'm a very busy mom with a super active 4-year-old. When I'm too busy to engage her, I give her an iPad. I really feel bad because I've read that it's not good to introduce kids to tablets too soon. What is a good age to introduce gadgets to children?
To be honest, I'm guilty. I am guilty, but then it's important that we limit it. There should be a limit. So if you're going to give your child an iPad, you will tell the child, okay, so it's just 30 minutes. And establish the rule. It's 30 minutes, 30 minutes is 30 minutes. So we're not doing past 30 minutes. So I think establishing a rule will really help. At first, they will fight you and say, no, mommy, and cry. But then you need to stand your ground and say, 30 minutes.
So establish the rules.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't think there's anything wrong with iPads. iPads can be very useful and using, especially if you have like the really good educational apps on them, that can be very helpful for the child's development. But too much screen time, too much screen time is a problem. So like you said, just having like a limit. And look, iPads are helpful for moms. Like I can't listen, like road trip, being
I want 30 minutes, I'll give you your 30 minutes.
Exactly, but let's just limit it.
So we need to find a great way to balance it out.
Yes.
So the children don't get addicted to it, right?
Exactly.
Okay, ladies. Number 3. Hi, ladies. I'm a first-time mom and I feel overwhelmed. I know my mother and mother-in-law mean well. However, I feel some of their advice are a bit outdated. What are some apps and websites that can help with getting advice on parenting for the Nigerian new moms?
Join a mommy platform.
Okay.
We have a whole lot of Nigerian mom bloggers out there.
Yeah.
So we are all mom bloggers. So you can just join us and you can even talk to us via DM. Talk to them. I mean, I'm sure people are actually very open to listening to you and helping you out. So I think
I also feel overwhelmed is something every mom experiences.
Yes.
So it's not peculiar.
Yes,
Time
it is.
mom.
Yeah,
so even
sure.
veteran moms like us.
Veteran.
So I think just find communities where you can fit in, and because of course, don't forget that you'll be exposed to so many information. So sometimes there can be information overload. So pick what works for you because everybody's family is different.
Yes.
Okay, so that was a very lovely conversation. I did learn something really new. Do you have any final words?
Final words. Nigerian international education, great. Education for mom, better.
Education for mom, better. I concur.
Okay, so moms need to get more education, Abby.
Yeah, I agree.
Education on what?
Just be more involved in general because we cannot only rely on our schools to educate our children.
You have to also do the work.
I agree. Yeah. That's
so final word for me, moms also need to get involved. Parenting is a collaborative effort. Moms and dads, actually, dads, we also need more dads
to support,
to be very supportive. And we also need to complement the teaching our children get from school. So that it's a wrap for today. So we'll see you guys same time next week. Please make sure you follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube at MomChitChat TV. Bye.
Bye-bye.